Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is William Michael Forbes. I want to welcome you to Shortcuts for Your Soul. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. And today I have Master Jesus with me, and we're going to be discussing the concept, can you talk with God? And the immediate answer, of course, is always yes. But there's some things that we need to discuss with you about how that can actually occur and how it's actually occurring all of the time. Before we start that, just before some being came in, I don't know who they are, but they just came in and they threw this at me. They said, the things we know we do not do have us being where we know we are not true. And I asked them, what does that mean? Who are you? They said they wouldn't identify themselves. They just said it means the things that we know, the things that you and I know that we know we're supposed to be doing to be healthy and vibrant and strong and living a good life, the things we know that we do not do. So in other words, because we don't do the things we know we need to do for our bodies, for our minds, for our souls, they have us, we are where we are because of that, because we choose not to do certain fundamental things that we know we ought to be doing, whether it's better eating, better sleeping, more meditation, go out and grounding, whatever the fundamental things are that we need to do. We really need to get our attention focused on doing those things. And they said that this is where you wanted to start today, to remind people that this is very important. I'm going to read that again because it came in so quickly. The things we know we do not do have us being where we know we are not true. Have us being where we know we are not true. The things we know we do not do have us being who we know we are not true. So it's basically saying you're not being true to who you really are when you're ignoring doing the right things for your body, the right things for your mind, the right things in your thoughts. We actually create a lot of difficulty. So that's where we wanted to start today. Do with that as you will. Now, the question, can you talk with God? And I made two notes that Master Jesus said I had to write down that was very important. One note was this, simply he said, you have to lose yourself to find yourself. And when you find yourself, you will hear God's voice always, because you are not disconnected from the divine. The divine is what you are. While you are in a finite form, you have the illusion of being separate from that great love. And in order to communicate, you have to hear. And in order to hear, you have to know how to hear and how to listen. He's stressing many of us are so caught up in our own storm of thoughts and our own thinking process, it's very difficult to hear the voice of God. When I tune into the voice of God, the first thing I get always is silence. It's silence. This beautiful feeling of silence that literally goes right through my whole being, where my whole body just quivers with this vibration of joy, of excitement, of calm, of curiosity. And when I allow myself to tap into that silence a little bit more, I can start asking questions. But in order to be able to hear that silence, we've got to stop listening to everything that's going on in our minds, because you cannot hear anything if you're listening to. It's like you can't hear what somebody's saying if you're paying attention to somebody else. You have to literally let go. Yes, he says you will have to let go of your constructed self, that one which is made up in the image and likeness of me, but is not me. What do you mean by that? Okay, the personality that you've been given is a false idol. The personality you've been given is a false idol. It is simply a facade that was given to this form, but it is not who you are. The name that you have is not the name you were given by this world. And to understand that, you must relinquish your attachment to the name given you by this world and understand from your own inner knowing, your own experience of who you are able to be. Listening, he's saying, listening to my voice is not the concern you need to have. It's not listening to the voices that are not my voice. This is something that is actually, it does not stop you from knowing or hearing my voice, but it stops you from recognizing you are hearing my voice. When you are so entrapped in your own thoughts and your own memories and your own beliefs, these false idols that you've been given that stand between you and your hearing my voice, is what you need to understand, to release that self that is not the real self, that is not who you are. But I always communicate with you. I always communicate to you. It is that you cannot hear. And many times you ask me questions and I answer them instantly. Yes. I'm brought to share an experience with you that happened last night, because this is so important. Norman and I went out for a walk to a little parkette that we like to go to, and we sat down and we chilled and we relaxed and let the dog do her thing, and we relaxed, and we got up to come back home, and we got into the apartment, and I realized my phone was gone. My phone, which has all my credit cards and things inside, it was completely gone. And then, of course, the first thing that happens is there's this immediate, like, where's my phone? And I could feel from the body mind, the constructed self, that something was wrong. And I became very aware of that part of the something's missing. I became aware of its anxiety and its fear. And I stopped. And I went, whoa, that's not who I am. That's the identity part of me. That's the William part, reacting as if it has lost something. How can I, as a divine being, possibly be less of who I am because of an identity that's not even mine? And so we literally went out and we looked around for those things. And I tell you, I came to the understanding that who we think we are, like really, and all this stuff, these phones and this technology, these do not define who you are. Every word that we speak or communicate to you offers you ideas and information, but who you are is not something that is defined by this world, although you have allowed it to be. We would challenge you to take all of these things that you are so attached to and put them down for a while and leave them and see how you are as a being. Know yourself. You have to lose the self that you've been giving to find the self that you are. Yes. Yeah. So when Master Jesus said you have to lose yourself to find yourself, that's literally what he means. You have to literally lose the constructed identity that you've been given by this world. He says your awareness expands when you surrender the old self. You inherit a great kingdom of consciousness, of awareness, of experience of what you are. Let go of this. Let go of the old self. It's very hard for you to do because you're so attached to it. When I declared that I and my Father are one, I recognized that I was not that one that was separate from him. And so I became as I am, which is what I am. And so too are you. But many of you are entrapped and seduced and held and embracing this illusionary self as if it is more vital than the self that is you. Talking to God is a natural thing. You do it all of the time. But listening to him requires that you be able to separate yourself. It requires that you be able to separate yourself from everything else that is not his voice. And in order to do that, the things of this world are merely manifestations of his spirit, but they are not him in the flesh. Him in the flesh is what you are. And as you allow yourself to relinquish that old self, you will become aware that you can use the old self, but it is not you. The differences in your behavior and how you will exist in this world will be significant. For what you will say and what you will do will be far different than what you say and what you do with the self that you think you are, that you are not. But to surrender that old self, this is the goal. Once that old self is gone and you know you are still existing, you are still alive, more so than you ever have been in your life when that old self is relinquished. You will be more alive than you have ever been in your life when you have relinquished the old self. And you may live that life through this form. You may express the life of your being through this form. And that expression of your life is greater than any you will find in this world or any you become in this world. But you can take that life and you can become the best expression of whatever you choose in this world from that life that you are. So that it's not a question, can you talk to God? The question is, can you listen and hear when he answers, yes, I'm just saying to Master Jesus, it's because of the whole thing we got going on about separation and role playing and stuff that we got going on here. I was just saying to him, shouldn't we say it or he or she? He says, you can call it what you will. You will know your father, your mother when you meet them. For you will not have to define them because you will know them. What do you mean by that? He says, when you can fully feel the light and the love of the source of your being, when you can completely and totally feel that, you will not feel any sense of separateness. You will not feel any form of lack or limitation. You will feel more of what you truly are. Yes. Anywho, very fascinating. What was the other note? Oh yeah, the other note that he said that he said it was important to make a distinction between what you call between the flesh, mind, and spirit. Knowing how to make a conscious difference in your awareness between your body, your mind, and who you are as a spirit, as an awareness. That distinction is essential for your perceptual abilities to fully enable themselves in this physical world. In other words, as you enable these higher faculties to be utilized in this world, your creative expression will be significantly greater than anything you could hope to acquire by any degree or education. Yes, the vocation that you need is already within you. You can learn from the greatest teacher in the universe, which is your creator. That's it on the two notes that he had me write down. And I would really like to know the things we know we do not know, the things we know we do not do, have us being who we know we are not true. Wow, I really love that because it's true. You shouldn't be eating so much sugar, and if you know you need to be meditating more, and if you know you need to be getting proper rest, and if you know these things and you do not do them, you're not being true to who you are. You're being true to the false self. You're being true to the false idol, the constructed personality this world has imposed upon you or given to you, and you've accepted it. But to be true to who you really are in every moment, imagine what your life would be like. And I cannot tell you how many times I run into people, how people send me messages and stuff, and it's the same theme. How do I get back to being who I am? You have to stop being who you're not, and you have to start doing what you know you need to do. And they'll say, every time I've tried so many times to stop doing that, and I keep going back to it. That's because you're stuck in a pattern. You believe the pattern, the false identity, because that's what patterns are. They're part of your false identity. You believe your pattern is more real than who you are as a sentient being, as a divine consciousness living through time, space, and matter. And the goal of all the work that we're doing here with you is to awaken you to that simple truth. It can be said in one sentence: you are that you are. And the truth is that simple. But you have to relinquish that which you are not to remember that which you are. So do those things that you know are in alignment with that which you believe is the highest conception you could have of yourself. And if you honor those things consistently and repeatedly, you will be free. You will be free. And you do not know what it means when we say the word free. You might feel the essential vibration of which we communicate to you through the word of being free, to really completely and totally be free. Words are useful if you understand the use and meaning of vibration and how it works. Yes. So he's saying, Master Jesus is saying right now, it's important you understand how to make the distinction between the old self and the new self. The new self is always renewing. What do you mean? The new self is always finding different. The self that is truly you is always finding ways of improving, enhancing, and renewing its capabilities and expressions in time and space. In other words, if you know you got physical ailments because you're eating improper food, then it would be prudent to start eating proper food to learn to gain the power and the freedom that would come with eliminating suffering by your change in your behavior and your habits and your thoughts. So it's really important. And we get into a lot of this simple processes, and there are simple processes for liberating yourself from old habits. Awareness is the first one. We go into our mediumship courses, which are starting this Saturday September the 5th. As you can see, all the information is down on the bottom part of the screen. So you can go register for that day and start learning how to differentiate between who you are as a sentient being and all these multidimensional beings that are around you who will guide you and communicate to you and show you and tell you, don't do this, right? My lesson yesterday was I had to learn to let go of the old self completely and fearlessly, to have no negative vibrations in my system about a false identity that's lost, a bunch of cards and a technical device that's has nothing to do with who I am. It's just stuff that's been accumulated. That's the facade around who I am. But who I am is very different than the stuff. And when you get to an awareness of who you are, you move into a position called free will or free choice. Most humans do not have free will or free choice. They're bound into the identity of the false self, and this is the false idol. Put no other gods before me, which means, if we translate that, it literally means to put no other consciousness, to put no other thing before the awareness of who you are as an awareness, as a being, as a divine consciousness. Anyway, your guides and your angels are with you all the time. They're giving you all kinds of feedback, and you get certain sensations. For example, if you go out and you drink a cup of coffee, you might find yourself feeling spun out and getting symptoms that aren't, and then afterwards you're feeling guilty and ashamed. You want to learn to become aware of the symptoms of the things that would lead you to yourself. So when you're about to eat that chocolate bar and you know it's not the right thing to do, at that moment you're choosing between the old self and who you are. Every time you make a decision to do something that sustains, enhances, and expresses your capability, is a choice to be who you are. And anytime you think or do something that goes against that, you're being less of who you are. And literally, you can become confined to just being a local body mind and thinking this is all you are. You can become an atheist and think this is all there is to life right here, right? And that's a small version of who you are when you get into that. So listen, you want to learn to listen to your guides and your angels. So talking to God, he said to me, one of the things you want to learn to do, once you learn to listen to me, then learn to follow my instructions. You will find ultimately that my instructions are your instructions. For I would not do anything to harm you, any more than you would do something to harm me, which is impossible. But if you follow my instructions, you are following your instructions. But in order to know it is from who you are, which is what I am, it is important to understand how to listen. And not listen with what you remember, and not listen through the past, but listen in this moment. When I say to you, don't drink that soda, don't drink that alcohol, you will feel me. You will feel me more than you will have a thought about me, although you can have a thought about me from me the moment you feel me. This is very important and very simple. But let's get into some Q&As, because a lot of people are going to have a lot of questions, as they usually do. I think it's only the second time I've actually had the Spirit of God coming through me in this fashion, through this form. So this is going to be very intriguing to see what sort of questions. For those of you that are watching on Facebook, you will need to go over to my YouTube channel to be able to ask questions, because they haven't corrected this error with Facebook being able to translate questions and answers, and who's asking questions and answers over here directly. So good morning, everybody. Hi, Heather. Hi, Lauren. Okay, I'm just going to scroll up here. There we go. And away we go. Questions and answers. Good morning, everybody. Hi, Terry. Yes. Terry's made a statement here. I want to put this statement up on the wall and clarify this, because a lot of what you read in Scripture has truth in it if you understand the difference between body, mind, soul, and spirit. Because you can interpret information on the level of your body, you can interpret information on the level of your mind, you can interpret information on the level of your soul, and you can interpret information on the level of infinite spirit. So he says, seek first the kingdom of God, and all things will be added to you. The kingdom of God is within. And that is it in a nutshell. The kingdom of God is within you. It's here and now. And the only way you're going to be able to get to the knowledge that it's here and now is to get everything in your mind that's so occupied with what is your past and what is your future, and come into the present moment, to be completely, fully here and now, to be fully and completely here and now. And it's an exquisite joy when you can just drop the illusion of who you think you are and just be the awareness, the unlimited, unbound awareness that really is who we all are. And we have the ability to express as individuals from that perspective, as the archangels and the angels and the fairies and the other different beings do. They have the capacity to take their infinite consciousness and express it in the highest possible way through that form. It's like you look at a rock. A rock is the highest form of its expression as that rock. Now, it could break down into separate components, and suddenly that rock becomes silver or nickel or lead or gold or uranium. It becomes something else. It becomes a different expression of itself in that form of solid, right? And everything in consciousness has a highest expression of itself and a lower expression of itself. And in the realm of humanity, in the realm of the angels and the archangels and the guides, we have the capacity to alter, expand, and change our expression, make it its best possible expression here in time and space, or on other physical dimensions as well. Good morning, Gina. And also, we'll be doing our draw in a couple minutes. Let's do that right now. We're going to do the draw for free reading with me, which is always fun. So I got all my Patreons in here. I'm just going to put them up here. I forgot, this is draw day. It's normally on the first of each month, but because of the okay, here we go. I got one here. Let's see what we got. Okay, so who's going to win a free reading with me today? Let's see. Alan Wadsworth, you have won a free reading with me. Alan Wadsworth, and also thank you, Alan, for being a Patreon. And thank you all my other patrons for contributing and supporting this work and these messages. It's an amazing thing. So Alan Wadsworth, just so everybody can see that. Alan Wadsworth, right? And we'll put you there, Alan. Congratulations, Alan. I will reach out to him with an email, and we'll get into that. Now, we can go into Q&A now. Congratulations, Alan. And all my other patrons, remember, we have our live event, our live patrons only event on patrons. You'll receive a link to the live event. All my patrons, that we do a monthly patrons only meeting on the 7th of every single month at 7 p.m. And occasionally we do surprise events on Sundays earlier in the day. But on the 7th of this month at 7 p.m., we're going to be going live. All our Patreons will receive a link to that live event, and we'll see you there. I'm looking forward to another one. It'll be our fourth one. It's terrific. Oh, thank you, Gina. Yeah, I tell you, Gina, when I lost the phone, when I realized the phone was gone and all the credit cards and bank cards and other things that were in with it were gone, there was this first moment of almost panic that I became aware of. And that's the thing. When you are not identified as body, mind separately, you have an awareness that can distinguish between the body, mind, and who you are. So the minute I became aware of that part that was like that, I immediately moved. I became aware of it, and then I could operate from the platform of who I am, which is, oh, it's just a phone. We'll go look for it. We find it. Great. If we don't, I'll just take all the proper steps to secure the identification and my information. And I did. It was within an hour and a half, everything was said and done. And I had another phone, right? But from the perspective of, and I've watched this, and I've been this way in the past, where something happens and you think you've lost something and you go into this panic, and it's insanity. That's insanity. When you lose yourself to the belief that you're a limited physical being. And so it's important. I feel vibrant because I recognize that truth, and they give me opportunities, like unbelievable opportunities, to make that assumption and assertion time and time again. And the more you find opportunities where you get to say, that's not who I am. I'm not this anger. I'm not this fear. I'm not this guilt. I'm not this shame. I'm not this personality. I'm not my past. I'm not the future based on it. When you can begin to cultivate the awareness that you are not who you've been taught to think you are what you think, you become free. And and that makes you feel really vibrant. It makes me feel really vibrant. So thank you for noticing that. Yes. Question from Blaine. For Blue Dragon Antharas, us humans have found buried dinosaur bones. Why have we not found dragon bones? It's funny that you asked that question. There was a video that was just surfacing. I'll see if I can find that for you. There was I know you're asking that being, but I'm answering that. This video that I saw shows there was an actual dragon spotted somewhere over China. Again, there's also been some very strange things happening in China. Sounds I've never heard before. People don't understand them, that are possibly considered to be dragons. Again, I can send you the links to those. But if I tap into that being, I don't feel. They have been found. They have been found amongst the giants. These things were found amongst the giants, and you have much evidence of them. But these other things were found amongst them. You will find evidence. It exists. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Very strange energy from him. Yeah, very, very like water running without sound. That's it. It's like water. His energy is like water running without sound. Thank you, Blaine, for that question. Question from Nicole. There we go. Did my higher self cross over my grandmom Sadie when she passed away? And any messages from my higher self? Thank you. It's funny when people cross over. There's always such joy. I from your higher self. There's great joy in this passage. There was there's the closest I can say to it is it's like a big party happening over there for her. That's the vibration I'm getting. Just great joy, great celebration. Yes, and that is it. Thank you for that question, Nicole. Wow. It's funny, Manoj, I posted this question up. He has a message for you. Absolutely. We oh my goodness. He's saying you need to go in pursuit of your light, not in pursuit of mine. You will discover they are one in the same, but you can only find it through yourself, which is the self that I am. Yes, which is the self which I am. This kind of goes back to what I was saying a little earlier about literally my human identity was literally taken away. It was gone, removed. And there was a moment of uncertainty and fear. And then I crossed over that. Surrender your old self. Surrender the old self. You'll be given lots of opportunities to do that. They're telling me right now, Manoj, you're going to be given opportunities to surrender the old self. And yes, what does that mean? That means in many situations where you would normally get upset or frustrated or you behave certain ways habitually, it means giving those up, giving those things that do not represent who you are, giving them up. And for some of you, giving up your suffering is a very difficult thing, almost as more difficult than your suffering is, you think. But we can assure you that if you give up your suffering, you will find you are much greater than it ever could have made you. Cool. Yeah, and there's lots of people out there that sort of thrive on their suffering, but they suffer in their thriving, right? That's hilarious. Thank you. Question from there we go. A question from Lauren. Let's get over here. I think there's a bit of a lag since I've got this. There we go. Let's see what we got. Lauren's asking, did I know you, Jesus, when you walked the earth? Yes, he's saying he's putting He's got his hand standing on my tummy. He's like joy, like down in here. He says, down in here. Oh, uh, wow. He's motioning down around the tummy. I wish I could had a step stool to step on, but around the solar plexus area, he said, saying the great joy of our unity still remains here in you. You can remember our journey together. You can remember our journey together in the joy you hold in here. I wish I had that. Okay, so I'm I'm trying to show you because it feels really important. I got one hand just below my sternum and another hand right over the solar plexus. And he says, it's in that area there that you will feel the vibration of our journey together. Why are you saying journey together? He says it's still going on. It did not happen at one time only. It has been ongoing. It still is now. Many of you are asking questions and seeking information that does not necessarily lend itself to the liberation of you, but continues to keep you further entrapped. Why would you spend time on those things that would keep you small? What do you mean by that? He's saying, I mean, when you are seeking to hold on to that which makes you less than you are. Give me an example. He's saying, if you behave the same way with the same people every day, you are not being anything new. You're not being who you are. For who you are is never the same. You're always unique, distinct, and different. Always. You're always ever changing, everlasting. If you are truly being who you are, nothing will stay the same, and you would not want it to. Oh, wow. Thank you for that, Lauren. I appreciate that. Wow. Yeah, congratulations. Wonderful. Question from Michelle O. Yeah, there we go. What message is there for me in order to be the highest expression of myself? Wow. Very good. That's a question. Archangel Michael's like really excited that you've asked that question. He's saying to be the highest version of yourself is to turn away from anything that is an established pattern in your life that does not represent a feeling of freedom. To move away from anything that you would say or do that does not represent the feeling of freedom. Wow. So anything that you're doing, this is how I'm paraphrasing now, anything that you're doing that is a pattern, you've done the same thing, you've said the hello the same way, how's the weather? Change that. Do something different that makes you free. When you release old patterns of behavior, you begin to liberate yourself into being your highest version of who you are. You begin that process. Yes, he says, I will walk behind you. Michael's saying, I will walk behind you. You'll feel a nudge. He says you'll actually feel a nudge, a physical nudge from him when you capture it. He said, some of you do not understand the moment you capture yourself in an old paradigm of your being, that you get stuck in the old self. Some of you don't understand this. So you just play out the memory, but you think it's normal and natural. You must be aware and not be repeating the same stuff over and over again. You will not get to your higher self that way. You'll stay where you are. Thank you, Michelle. That's a great question. Question from Tanya. That's funny. What does the attunement word I am word mean? The attunement to this word. Yes, let me allow this one to speak. When I say to you, I am, and when you say to me, I am, it is not the mere function of your mouth or the utterance of these words that you must heed. It is the vibration, the sensation which you bring forth into language or into thought. You bring that forth into thought, this vibration, I am, into thought. And then I am again, you bring it forth into form. And your thought begins to form into I am as a vibration. if you utter these words with the spirit of the word, you will see profound change happen in your world, in your life, in your mind, and in your body. I am is not simply a phrase of language. It is a vibrational intention of your choice to be all that you are through that specific form. And there are no limits unless you say, I am this or I am that. But I am the feeling that you bring forth into the idea of the thought, the feeling you bring forth from the thought into the expression of the word. It is the feeling, not the thought, not the word. It is the feeling, I am. This is what you need to know. Cool. Thank you, Tanya. Wow. So I'm buzzing here, crazy buzzing going on here. I've got a question from Miriam from Master Jesus. She's saying, Master Jesus, I get a very strong edge to pray, meditate, mostly when I'm hungry. Any reason why? Yes, he's immediately saying, you must understand your hunger is not your hunger. This is of the flesh. You must transcend your subjectivity to the flesh to be liberated from it. You are all encased in that red mud. It is not who you are. You are supposed to give it shape and form. It is not supposed to give you shape and form. You are to give it your life. You cannot get any life from it. You give it your life. When you find yourself going to meditate and that hunger stops you from paying attention to what you need to, you must release it. Release your attachment to that. Release your attachment to that until it subsides under your will. Until it subsides under your will. Any distraction of the flesh is a distraction from the spirit. Wow. Thank you, Miriam. Great question. Wow. There's a statement being made that they told me to respond to. Normally, if you have a question, you write the word question and then put your question so that the William mechanism can pick it up, right? But they directed me to this one specifically from a YouTube user. I understand there will be a significant universal shift in energy within the next few days. Any comments for me individually regarding this and the collective? Well, great question. The first words that they're throwing into my align your awareness and your heart to that which I am. Align your awareness and heart to that which I am. Yeah. Another way, I can put it this way also. You want to raise your vibration, literally. If you can, drink more water today. Over the next couple of weeks, drink more water. Eat more live food that's living, vegetables. Eat raw fruit, anything that's alive. Get more life in your body. Raise its frequency up because there is energetic changes happening right now on a profound scale. Like there's huge changes. Cosmic energy, cosmic radiation, gamma radiation, X-ray radiation. There's all kinds of transformative frequencies. And these are X-rays, gamma rays, cosmic rays. These are all transformative frequencies, as is radiation. They're transformative frequencies. And if your biology is not properly attuned, then it becomes subjective to those things in a very different way. Yeah. So getting your body vibrationally as high as you can possibly get it, right? So make sure you're drinking really good, clean water, eating fresh fruit, fresh vegetables. You want to focus on going out and grounding, getting out there. Again, you'll learn all this stuff. For those of you that are taking the courses and classes, we will teach you how to do all this, how to ground, the proper ways, proper methods to ground, how to raise your vibration through the proper consumption of food and water. It's really important at this time during this ascension process that all of humanity is engaged in, not some of us, all of us. The difference is the vast majority of people are unconscious of the process, so they're running around in fear. And the people that are conscious of the process are walking around going, wow, this is epic. This is amazing what's unfolding right now. And when you understand the difference between who you are as a vibration and who you are as a mind and what you are as a body, it changes that. The question that Master Jesus answered a little earlier about meditation, learning to make that distinction is really important. We will teach you that in the courses, right? You'll learn how to meditate in a safe, effective, easy, gentle way, and you'll know what you're doing and why and how it works. And you'll know it works because you'll feel a change in your energy. So thank you for that question. Wow, got a question from Lori. Those that struggle with addiction, are we merely trying to recreate the vibration of what we experience now? Thank you, Lori. That yeah, absolutely. Everybody's yelling. There's literally a massive applause for that. Like massive. I got every being I can conceive. Like literally, just this yes. Like literally a cosmic yes. Those who have addictive tendencies are seeking to capture that which they already possess, but the identity that they have been given stands between them and the creative source that they are. Everybody goes into these things you call addiction because they're seeking that which they already are, but they are blinded to it by the construction of the self that is the illusion, the false idol. It's sort of funny. I've never heard the personality called a false idol before. They should worship false idols. That's interesting. So yeah, so basically, yeah, that's pretty cool, Lori. It's so true. People have addictions because they're seeking to get realigned to that which they naturally are realigned to, but the personality and the way it's put together, the beliefs, thoughts, ideas, information stored in the system through the 5 physical senses inhibits most people from remembering or perceiving that which they are. And again, you learn how to get back to that. In the course and class, you learn how to come back to the awareness of who you really are, to get past your thoughts, to get past your emotions, to get past your body's interference, to get back to the being that you are. And like the being that you are is remarkable. And in our hearts, everyone knows that. Even the people going into an addictive pattern are going there because they want to be a better self. But they don't realize that the better self is who they are, not what they get from the drug or not what they get from their environment. It's what you already are. And you have to know how to get back to the awareness of that which you already are. And it sounds contradictory, but it's not. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. Great question. Question from Kate. When Jesus comes back to earth, what form will they take? Will they be recognized by the human race? And how? He's giggling right now. He says, I am here, and if you knew who I am, you would know that I am with you. I am already here and now. And if you knew who you are, you would know who I am. If you wish to say, am I going to come in a specific body? I have come in a lot of specific bodies. When you understand the responsibility of being what you are, you find you have greater capabilities to interact with more of what you are rather than less. In that little body that's asking me this question right now, there is a perception that you are somehow separate from that which you are, which is what I am. And it is in that misperception that you remain lost to yourself. But you can never lose yourself, but you must find yourself. Thank you. Wow, Kate, thank you for that. It's really cool questions. Sorry, the Spirit of God is like laughing so hard with me right now. He's in there like laughing. He's saying, it's amazing that people have called my name so many times that they wish to speak with me. And they believe they have not gotten answers, but they simply have not learned how to hear. They ask even now, and they still do not hear, but they are being answered. Yes, he said that's not to be communicated. This is not derogatory. This is the laughter, the funniness of you have an arm and you have a leg, and you can direct your arm and leg, and thinking that your arm and leg could operate against you is really silly. The joy. He says it no matter what. He's also saying it's no matter what's going on, it is all the joy of my creation. Even that which you might perceive as bad is the joy of my creation. Yeah, I have a hard time with that one. You're laughing at me because, yeah. He says, you will understand. like last night. Okay, I got it. Yep. So even those bad things that are happening in the world around us right now are opportunities for us to divest ourselves of limitations. I had to divest myself of the William mechanism as being who I am, right? William is not who I am. It's a mechanism I use to express. And certainly when if your house burns down or you lose somebody close to you, you realize your identity is not supposed to come from out there. You already are an identity. You're a divine being. We all are. You just have to remember that. Yeah, I know. Sorry, the spirit is just throwing this like these white rays of light just down on me. It's like, it's like the week and a half I spent down on the island, the times I spent on the beach in the sun. It's that kind of like feeling like I'm on the beach in sunlight. Sunlight. Master Jesus is sunlight. Thank you for that question, Kate. Question from Teresa. Any guidance for me on attending your class starting this Saturday? Should I now or hold off for the next one? I get an immediate do not hold off from them, but my William mechanism says, it's completely up to you how long you want to stay where you are in consciousness. These courses and classes are designed to help you get back to where you already are consciously, and to learn how to create and define your life in the terms of your own being and not in the terms that the world has imposed upon you. But I would recommend taking it sooner rather than later. We're right in getting into the peak of the ascension process. And the more people that wake up, these courses are not designed just to educate people and awaken them. It's designed to awaken people, so that you are awake and aware enough so that you can stimulate that process in others. This is so important to understand that it's not just about teaching people a bunch of lessons. It's about awakening people to awaken people, right? We got some beautiful students and student teachers, Lorraine O'Connell and Elena. I keep having difficulty pronouncing her last name. Lorraine and Elena, Joe Goldsmith, Michael Rolla. We have a lot of people that are now practicing teachers and have their own channels, and they're awakening other people to the simple, elegant truths of being. And this is the goal, to expand yourself into more of who you already are as a being, right? And while you're in this physical dimension. So great question, Teresa. Thank you so much. I encourage, if you haven't registered for the course, please go register for it today. Don't waste time. Like it's not just, you ask anybody who's here that's taken the courses will tell you that how it's changed their life, how it's affected them. It will change your life. It will give you your life back. Saying it's not fair to say it will remind you that you are the life and the love that you are seeking. All that you are seeking is within you. You can come to know this. Well, a question from Terry. Why was the first slave ship called the Sweet Ship of Jesus, and you prefer to be called Jesus or Yeshua? He's laughing. He's saying, you still make the assumption that the labels are what define who I am. The same way you make the labels define who you are. This is an error that you must surrender in perception. I am who I am, and you are who you are. If you choose to place me in the perspective of being a label, then you will not see me, and you will therefore not see who you are either. For I am who you are. And when that label is gone, you will understand these words. You will remember this response to your question. Wow. Thank you, Terry. Just the recognition that you are not the label. You're not this body. You're not this mind. You're not who you've been told to think you are. Who you are is just so incredible. And when you drop that and you understand who I am, and literally when you understand who I am, I am that I am. When you understand that in yourself, then you will realize the labels were just a mechanism for keeping you separate from that, which is evidently the truth of your being. Thank you. Thank you, Terry. In answer to that question, Tanya, you just heard it. Master, yeah, I understand that. The answers you have just heard are the answers to most of your questions. Michael, the one you call Michael, the one you call Michael is doing this for you. The one you call Michael is leaving you those feathers. It's funny, this this dichotomy between one and many expressions, but one life. And the only resolution you'll find for it is going to be in becoming what you are. And that's the journey, isn't it? Wonderful. Great questions today. Question from Drusilla. Hi, Drusilla. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that super chat. Please ask God, how do I connect to his or her energy around me? And who was the energy I saw last night? Stillness. Can you be still and be that which is still? Can you be still and know that which is still? For when you are still, you will know. You will know. It will not be a question. I'm asking, how would you go about becoming still in the way he is communicating this vibe? Because what he's literally communicating the vibrate, like absolute stillness, where you are just aware, but you are not aware of anything. You're just being aware without, yes. He's saying some of you will take more time to get to this than others, as you have much to give up. He says many of you have so much to give up to not be distracted. But you can do this. This one can do this. This one can do this fairly well. He's saying, one of my children, that one you call the angel Gabriel, was with you. From him, if you understand the sensation, you will know that spark of what you are, that is him. In his love, you can find my love. In your stillness of the perception of that love, will you find yours? And I'm interpreting that to mean literally like when you can feel the love of another being so completely that you become that vibration, you literally become it. Just saying the words, I am, I am, I am, but not just saying the words, not just thinking the words, but feeling the energy of the consciousness that you are invoking as what you are invoking. Literally, you are that I am. This is I've been in that state. I lived in that state for 30 days of being one with all that is. And when you understand the vibration of it and you can be in it, everything becomes available to you, Drusilla. I am. Not the words. Do not be stuck on the spoken word, but you may speak the word to allow yourself to bring the energy into form, into flesh, the word being made flesh. You can think the word, but you're just bringing the essence of that which you are into the form of thought. But what you really bring in is the essence of that I am, that you are. Wow. This is so amazing today, what's happened today. Thank you so much, Miriam. You're welcome. Wow. Okay, another question. Thank you, Animo. I really appreciate that. Question. I've been manifesting disharmony that feels related to resistance. May I receive clarity on this? Thank you, and much love to all. He's saying that it is not you that It is not you that is manifesting this disharmony, but it is you that is becoming aware of it. In your awareness of the disharmony, in your awareness where there is you and that which is disharmonious, remove your attention from that which is disharmonious to the awareness. And remain in the awareness. And do not let your awareness go back to make certain it's gone or not gone. Just be. Do not feed that which you do not wish to have alive in your life. So the minute you become aware of that disharmony, whether it's internal or external, take your attention away from it. Literally pull your attention away from, if you feel anger about something out there, or upset about something, pull your attention away from that. Come back inside, right? And it's a form of meditation. But that's what I'm hearing him saying. Bring yourself back into that. Pull your attention away from the disharmony, from the things that you think are your creation. Just pull your energy away from them, because they can only exist with your life being given to them, right? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that super chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Question from Patricia. I'm not sure, really, the Jesuits, God? I'm not sure what that statement means. It seems more like a statement than a question. Oh, really, the Jesuits? Oh, yes, he got it. He just told me what you meant. That was not his deliberate creation. There are many of you who think you are great and powerful, being separate from me, and you may have control over this whole world, but you shall never have your soul, as long as you believe this world is greater, or that even you are greater than who I am. No, these were just a construct. He's saying they were a construct of men. Wow. Yeah, I'm asking because there's if you're all that is, if you are all that is, then how can there be anything separate from you? Because there is this thing called expression. For I know and delight in the being of my being through all that is. And if it leads me back to myself, then I am free, although I am always free. You will know this more clearly when you understand the ending of separation. Then you will know the truth, and then you will be free. Yeah, the Jesuits, that was an interesting creation. Thank you, Patricia. Another question from Patricia. What's the area below the belly button that she said you feel the truth? The detail. That I think that's the in Qigong they would call that. I think that's what they'd call that, the Dantian. I think it's called the Dantian. Yes. The one hand, when he was showing me that energy, the one hand was over the Dantian and the other hand just below the sternum. Interesting. So that'd be like the heart chakra and the solar plexus chakra. Great question. Okay. I'm just scrolling down. I think we're almost done today, guys. Love you too, Drusilla. Thank you so much. Yeah, you can't merge with the enemy. Sorry, where are we? I'm just going to see if I missed. I think I got all the questions, guys. Oh, wait, there's one from Kimberly. Let's see what this question is all about. No, it just disappeared. There we go. Oh, there it is. There we go. No, I guess that was it. I guess we did get it. Well, a lot of questions going very fast. Sorry, I can't keep up with them all. Hang on there. I saw a question. I'm just moving. I don't know why all of a sudden all these questions started flowing. Let's see if I can find that on the other station here. I see that super chat that I'm going to get to. Just give me a moment. It's always nice when things don't happen. It is really, it's an invitation. Inconvenience is an invitation to freedom. Remember that. Inconvenience is an invitation to freedom. I'm just going to see here. Oh, here. I'm just going to find a super chat that happened there. Oh, there it is there. Oh, thank you, Lori. Thank you for that $10 donation. I really appreciate it. That's what it was. Okay. I'm just using another device to do this. What did I just... Inconvenience is an invitation to freedom. Thank you. I got to write that down. Let me write that one down. Inconvenience is an invitation to freedom. And I have to tell you, when I let go of my attachment to my credit cards and my bank cards and my brand new cell phone and everything that was connected to that, social media, all the stuff, when in that moment, when I felt the contrast between that wild, crazy animal self that goes, oh, I've lost myself, right? And then realizing that's not who I am at all. That's not who you are at all. And to be able to let that go consciously, to be able to go, wow. And what's really cool is Norma did the exact same thing. She said, well, we'll go look at it. If we find it, great. If we don't find it, it's okay. And that kind of freedom, can you imagine that? If we could approach every situation like that, instead of going, we just go, it's going to work out. Everything's going to be fine. And it is. It's better than fine. Okay, let's see. Carol Lipthorpe had a question. I'm just going to scroll up here. I have a tiny bit of time this morning. There it is. 11:01, 11. Carol, let's find that question of yours, unless you can ask it again really quickly. It was after Animo's question. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can scroll up, because I've got a bit of a lag here. So we'll find it. There it is. Found it. It seems that we may be experiencing some upheavals in the world in the next few weeks and months. How can we best prepare ourselves? Thank you. I think that was actually answered multiple times in different ways. But to answer you directly, Carol, literally getting to the place where that stuff does not define what you are being. In other words, if somebody comes up to me and says, why are you not wearing a mask? I don't get into an emotional conniption about it. I don't get emotional about it. I don't get attached to that having any meaning for who I am as a being. I am still who I am. The same as if I see somebody yelling at somebody on the street and I can see that they're really upset. I don't let that upset keep me. You can't let the stuff out there define you. You have to let that stuff go and get back to who you are as a being, a limitless potential of infinite love that can choose to express creatively the energy of that being. And there are things that you will say and there are things that you will do when you know who you are, when you can be the vibration, the I am that you are, when you can completely be aligned to that, you will say things and you will do things that your personality could never even think up. Because when you are coming from that who you are limitless. You are limitless. And you will be able to say and do things, as Master Jesus says. You can literally say to a mountain, move thee hence, and it will move. Like you have a different effect on time, space, and matter. He's saying not that you'd want to make a mountain move because it's not necessary. The thing you want to do is get realigned back to who you are. And this world is set up in such a way as to give you the greatest opportunity to do that in a very short time frame. I think we'll scroll down and take one more question. I think if we got one more question. Right here. One more question right here from KO. Is there a healthy way of expressing negative frustration or feelings without the penalty of reflection? Wow, that's a great question. Is there a way of expressing negative frustration or feeling without the penalty of reflection? And I don't know who's saying this to me. I think it's your guardian angel. They're saying through open questions, through asking questions, harmless questions, asking questions harmlessly, asking questions harmlessly about that which you're frustrated about. Ask questions harmlessly. What do you mean by that? So if somebody, the example I'm getting is, say somebody, you're doing a job and somebody, you're yes, no, okay. When somebody does something that you do not like, ask them a harmless question about it. So I'll use an example from my past. I might be doing dishes when I was a kid, and my sisters would save dishes. They'd actually save dishes because they wanted to frustrate me, and they'd bring the dishes in and they put the dishes in the sink, and I'd get really frustrated with them about the dishes. And now I could have asked them a harmless question like, why are you saving all those why are you saving all those dishes up for me like this? I could have asked the question in a very harmless way instead of going, stop doing this again, because I get upset. Ask harmless questions that get the person to self-reflect on their behavior rather than you trying to not get yourself upset. Just ask them harmless questions. I hope that helps, Kale. It's a great question, by the way. I'm sorry, Lori. Lori, I'm not sure what you mean by that statement, but it's very funny. Thank you. Inconvenience is an invitation to freedom. You're welcome, YouTube user. Listen, guys, I want to say thank you for showing up today. Also, consider, you want to support this channel, these weekly messages, please become a member of my Patreon page. You can support me on Patreon. That's patreon.com/William Michael Forbes. I want to welcome our new patron from yesterday. Also, you can support this through the super chats. As you've seen, some people will make a small donation and post a question, and it gets the question prioritized. But you can also support the work this way. Also, just a reminder, 20% of everything we generate from YouTube and from Patreon goes to a group that we support called rescue.org, which is a group that of specialists that go out and rescue children from the sex slave trade industry and from child trafficking. So please consider all that. Again, I want to thank everybody for your wonderful question. I want to thank Master Jesus and the Spirit of God for being present with us today. Know that it's always there with you right now. It's not somewhere separate. Just have to learn to listen, right? And join us. Join us this Saturday for our course and classes. Go register now, and you can learn how to connect to the Spirit, your guides, your angels. They're all with us right now. We're not separate from anything or anybody. It's just that we are in awareness. So everybody, have yourselves a wonderful and a joyful day. And I will see you very, very soon.